If you're caring for a loved one with ALS, you already know what it means to have incredible strength and deep love. But you also know just how demanding it is, day in and day out. So today, we're going to talk about a lifeline, something absolutely crucial to help you sustain that strength. We're talking about respite care.
First, let's just start with a number that is, well, it's pretty staggering. Up to 86% of family caregivers say they get no respite care at all. Just think about that. The vast majority of people on this journey are doing it without a single break, and that puts them at a huge risk for complete exhaustion. This isn't just a personal challenge, it's a massive hidden crisis.
And that really brings us to the core idea for today. This right here. This is the mindset we need to have. Because seeking help, asking for a break, it is not a sign that you're weak or that you're giving up. In fact, it's the total opposite. It's how you gear up for the long haul. It's one of the strongest moves you can possibly make.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start by really looking at the unseen struggle, just to acknowledge what you're going through. Then we'll name the enemy, burnout. After that, we get practical. We'll build a respite toolkit, talk about how to actually make it happen, and we'll finish up with a look at the future, which is pretty hopeful.
Okay, first things first. Let's talk about the incredible weight that you carry every single day. Because before we can even begin to talk about solutions, it is so important that we see and validate the full reality of what ALS caregiving is all about. You know, it's that relentless cycle of daily physical tasks, right? The feeding, the bathing, helping with mobility. But then there's all the invisible work, coordinating all the medical stuff, being the rock of emotional support, and just dealing with your own physical strain from lack of sleep. And you're doing all of this while navigating this deep grief, and so often feeling completely and utterly alone in it.
And that constant, immense pressure, well, it leads directly to our next topic, something we really have to name if we're going to fight it, and that's caregiver burnout. Just being able to spot the signs is the absolute first step to stopping it in its tracks. So let's really dig into what it is. So what even is burnout? Well, think of it as a state of total exhaustion. We're talking physical, emotional, and mental. The most important thing to get here is that it is not a personal failure. It's not a sign you don't care enough. It's the completely predictable, totally understandable result of being under prolonged and overwhelming stress.
So let's do a little check-in. Do any of these sound familiar? That deep, chronic fatigue that sleep just doesn't seem to touch? Feeling irritable, maybe even resentful sometimes? Or maybe it's that feeling of hopelessness, or you find yourself pulling away from friends. Sometimes it even shows up as physical pain, like headaches or backaches. And then there's this big one for ALS caregivers, ambiguous grief. That's when you're mourning the losses and changes that are happening, even while your loved one is still right here with you. Just recognizing these signs in yourself is a huge, empowering first step.
Okay, we've looked at the struggle, we've named the enemy, now let's get to the good part, the solutions. This section is all about action. We're going to build your personal respite toolkit full of practical things you can actually start using to get some relief.
Now, what's really key here is that a strong support system isn't just one thing. It's got to be a balanced approach. Think of your toolkit as having 4 main compartments. You've got informal support from your people, you've got professional services, you've got community resources, and, this one's crucial, you've got your own self-care. Each piece plays a really important part.
So let's quickly compare the 2 biggest sources of outside help. You've got your informal support, your friends and family. This is amazing, it's often free, and it's perfect for things like short breaks, running errands, or just having someone come over for companionship. Then you have professional services. Yeah, this can cost money, but you're getting someone who is trained, certified, and reliable. This is your go-to for skilled care or when you need a longer, scheduled break. Knowing the difference helps you pick the right tool for the job.
I know asking for help can feel so awkward, so let's make it a simple process. First, get specific. People want to help, but they often don't know how. So instead of, I need help, try, could you sit with mom from 2 to 3 on Tuesday so I can go to the bank? Make a whole list of tasks like that. Then use a free online tool to let people sign up. It takes the pressure off. And to make them feel confident, put together a little binder with key info. And hey, play to people's strengths. Let your friend who loves to cook handle a few meals.
But it doesn't just stop with your immediate circle. There's a whole world of support out there. In-home care aides are trained to handle more complex tasks. Adult day programs can be a fantastic option, giving your loved one a safe and social place to be and giving you a much-needed full day's break. And you should never, ever underestimate the power of support groups or volunteer organizations. They offer both practical help and that emotional connection with people who just get it.
And finally, let's talk about the part of the toolkit that you have 100% control over, starting right now, self-care. And please hear me on this. This is not a luxury. It is a non-negotiable necessity. It doesn't have to be a spa day or a week-long vacation. We're talking 15 minutes, a quick walk around the block, a guided meditation on your phone, even just sitting down and drinking a hot cup of coffee without being interrupted. It really, truly all adds up.
So, we have our toolkit. We know it's in it. But knowing what to do and actually doing it are two very different things, aren't they? This next part is all about bridging that gap. It's about how to get over those real-world hurdles that always seem to pop up.
Let's just tackle the biggest hurdle first, the one that lives right inside our own heads: guilt. It's that nagging voice that whispers, "How can I possibly relax or have fun when they're going through this?" It is such a powerful and incredibly common feeling.
To fight that guilt, we have to make a mental shift. This is so important. Respite is not about you escaping from your loved one, it's about you recharging for them. A caregiver who is rested and resilient provides better care. They're more patient, more present, more compassionate. Honestly, taking a break is one of the most loving and responsible things you can do for the person you're caring for.
Now, of course, guilt isn't the only barrier. Worried about the cost? There are grants, insurance benefits, and free community programs out there to research. Don't feel like you have anyone you can trust? Start small. Ask a neighbor to pop in for just 20 minutes while you take out the trash. That's how you build trust over time. Feel like there's absolutely no time? That's where those micro breaks come in. And if you're in a rural area, don't forget about virtual support groups and telehealth. They can be a total game changer.
All right, let's start to wrap this up by looking forward. Because I know it can feel so overwhelming and isolating, but the truth is, the world of caregiver support is changing for the better, and there are real reasons to feel hopeful. As of 2025, there's simply more awareness and more policy support for caregivers than ever before. Technology is also stepping up in a big way. Things like telehealth and smart home devices are making it so much easier to coordinate care. We're also seeing better access to funding for respite. And, looking just a little further down the road, innovations like AI-assisted care could dramatically reduce the daily burden on caregivers.
So, if you take just one single thing away from our time together, please let it be this. Respite is not a luxury. It's not a prize you get when you're on the verge of collapsing. It is an essential, non-negotiable, ongoing part of the care plan. It is just as important as medications or physical therapy. It needs to be scheduled, protected, and prioritized.
And that brings me to my final question, and this one is just for you. Don't think about overhauling your entire life. Just think small. What is one tiny, manageable step you can take this week, just this week, to reclaim a little bit of your time and a little bit of yourself? Maybe it's a 10-minute walk alone. Maybe it's one phone call to a friend you haven't talked to in a while. Whatever it is, that one small step, that's where everything begins.